My fiancé stated coldly, "Your family is not invited to our wedding. End of discussion." I replied, "Fine," packed my bags and left. Then I canceled our wedding and used the venue for a family reunion. Now, she is frantically demanding an end to this madness after seeing our happy pictures on Instagram. I, 32 male, am still trying to wrap my head around the last month. It feels like a lifetime. About 4 weeks ago, my then fiancée, Chloe, 30, dropped a casual nuke on our wedding plans, and by extension, our relationship. We'd been together for 5 years, engaged for 1. Wedding planning was surprisingly smooth until the edict. It happened on a Saturday. We were going over the guest list for the 10th time. The venue, the Redwood Grove, was booked, mostly on my dime, a point that becomes important later. Caterers paid. Invitations were about to be ordered. Chloe suddenly got this weirdly steely look in her eyes. "Liam, about your family, I've been thinking, and I've decided they can't come to the wedding." Blinks, chokes on air. "Sorry, what, my family? As in, my parents? My sister, who you asked to be a bridesmaid, my aunts, uncles, cousins?" "Yes, all of them. It's just, they're a bit much. This is our day, and I want it to be perfect, sophisticated, not them." "A bit much? Chloe, they love you. They've been nothing but welcoming. What on earth are you talking about? They're just not our kind of people, Liam." Loud, a little unrefined. "My mother agrees. It's better this way." End of discussion. End of discussion. Delivered like she was telling me the sky was blue. My blood went from 0 to ice in 3 seconds. My parents, who helped us with a down payment on our first rented apartment. My sister Sarah, who was genuinely excited for Chloe. Me, "Chloe, there is no wedding without my family." "That's not a discussion, that's a fact." "Chloe, don't be dramatic, it's a simple boundary. Either they're not there, or perhaps we need to reconsider this whole thing if you can't prioritize my comfort." Stands up. "Okay, I'm reconsidering." The audacity, the sheer unadulterated entitlement. She thought she could just erase my entire family? For aesthetic reasons? I didn't shout, didn't argue. Something inside me just snapped. A very quiet, very final snap. Fine. I walked into the bedroom, pulled out a suitcase, and started packing. Calmly, methodically. Chloe followed, her jaw on the floor. "Chloe? What are you doing?" "Liam, stop this. You're actually packing? You can't be serious." "You said end of discussion. I heard you. This discussion is over. We're over. You'd end our engagement, our life together, over this? Because I want our wedding to be a certain way after everything?" Her voice was rising, a mix of disbelief and anger. She started crying then. Real tears, I think. Or maybe just frustrated ones. Her best friend, Zoe, 30F, who was supposed to be the maid of honor, called me later that night, after Chloe inevitably ran to her. "Liam, Chloe is a mess. You can't just walk out. She didn't mean it like that. You know how she gets about the wedding being perfect." She meant every word, Zoe, and asking me to disinvite my entire family is beyond getting a bit particular. It's cruel. "But she loves you. You're overreacting." Her mom, Diana, even said she understood Chloe's concerns about your family clashing with their guests. Me. Good for Diana. Chloe made her choice. I've made mine. I'm staying at my sister's for now. Click. The next Monday, first thing. The venue, the Redwood Grove. I put down the hefty $10 deposit and the subsequent $15 installment for my savings. The contract was in my name. Called them. Explained the wedding was off. Asked about cancellation. Lost the deposit, obviously. Sucked, but okay. Then a light bulb went off. "Actually," I said, "do you have availability for a large family reunion that same weekend?" They did. The same exact slot. Rebooked it for a family celebration. Paid the remaining balance, which was less than the full wedding cost without the fancy flowers and sit-down dinner. It felt right. Other vendors. The caterer was a joint booking, but Chloe's parents had paid that deposit. I emailed them, Chloe and her parents, formally stating the wedding was off, and they needed to handle any vendor cancellations or liabilities not solely in my name. Forwarded Chloe's end of discussion text and my reply as context. No response. Her stuff. She lived mostly at my place. I own it, fully in my name before her. I texted her that she had 1 week to arrange to get her belongings. I'd box them up. She could pick them up from the porch. No entry. Felt surprisingly calm, like I dodged a nuclear missile. Hurt? Yeah, underneath. Like a fool. But mostly just this cold, hard resolve. She wanted me to choose? I chose my family. and myself. After that first night when Zoe called, I hadn't heard a peep directly from Chloe or her close circle. Radio silence from their end. Until yesterday. That's when the first few excited RSVPs for the family celebration at the Redwood Grove started hitting social media, with people tagging me and the venue. Then my phone blew up with calls and texts from Chloe. Update 1. 2 weeks later. Well, the family celebration happened, and it was, in a word, epic, but not before more drama, as expected. The texts and calls from Chloe started the moment she saw the social media posts about my family reunion at our wedding venue on our wedding date. It was a barrage. Chloe: Liam, what is this? A family reunion? At the Redwood Grove? Are you insane? This is my wedding venue. You can't do this. This is ours. Me: the wedding is canceled, Chloe. You made that clear. The venue was booked under my name and I repurposed it. You have no claim here. Then came the voicemails, alternating between screaming rage and tearful pleading. You are trying to humiliate me. This is a sick joke. My mother is horrified. Liam, baby, I miss you. I made a mistake. It was the stress. Please, let's talk. We can still fix this. We can still get married. Just not there, okay? We'll find somewhere else. Just cancel this thing. Zoe chimed in too, naturally. Guess Chloe sicked her on me again. Liam, this is beyond cruel. Chloe is devastated. You're rubbing her face in it. You need to stop this. Think about what you're doing to her. She's not eating. She's barely sleeping. Me: she was fine with devastating my entire family. She'll live. This is happening. Blocked Zoe. Then came Chloe's mom, Diana, 60. She called me. Liam, dear, I think there's been a terrible misunderstanding. Chloe was just expressing some anxieties. Pre-wedding jitters. She didn't mean to exclude your lovely family permanently. Diana, she told me it was end of discussion. She was perfectly clear, and you apparently agreed with her concerns about my family clashing. Well, perhaps a little, but to cancel everything, and then to use the venue to gloat, it's in very poor taste, Liam. Chloe is heartbroken. You owe her an apology, and you need to make this right. Cancel this reunion. Me: with all due respect, Diana, I owe Chloe nothing. She made her bed. The reunion is on. My family is looking forward to it. Goodbye. Blocked Diana. The week leading up to the reunion was tense. I half expected Chloe to show up at my door or try something. I made sure a friend was with me when I was home. My sister Sarah was a rock. The reunion itself, it was genuinely amazing. The Redwood Grove, which had felt tainted by Chloe's demands, was transformed. Instead of stiff formality, there was laughter, kids running around, my uncle playing his guitar, a massive barbecue instead of tiny, expensive plates. We had games, a bouncy castle for the little ones, way cheaper than Chloe's desired ice sculpture. My parents were beaming. My aunts and uncles kept saying how proud they were of me for standing up for them. We took so many pictures. Group shots, silly selfies, the works. And yes, we posted a bunch. Family first Redwood celebration, no wedding, just good times. The day after the reunion, my phone started buzzing again. It was Chloe, but this time the tone was different, utterly frantic. Liam, please, we need to talk. I saw the pictures. Everyone looks so happy. My friends are asking questions. This is a nightmare. You have to make a statement or something. Tell them we postponed, that this was a pre-planned family thing. Anything. You're making me a laughingstock. You planned this to destroy me. You have to stop this madness. My parents are mortified. Chloe, text 10 minutes later after I didn't reply. You owe me for the caterer deposit. My parents paid that. And what about my dress? Are you gonna pay for that too, you vindictive bastard? The entitlement was just breathtaking. She blows up our life, demands the impossible, and now I owe her? I sent one final reply before blocking her everywhere. Me? Chloe, you ended our relationship when you disrespected my family. Your financial arrangements with vendors or your parents are your concern. Consider this the end of all discussions, as per your original terms. Then I blocked her number, her social media, everything. My family had a blast. That's what matters. The money I lost on the deposit feels like the best investment I ever made in my own peace of mind and self-respect. The joy on my family's faces was priceless, but I have a feeling this isn't quite over. People like Chloe don't just accept consequences. Update 2. 1 month later. Final update. It's been about 6 weeks since the family celebration, and life has mostly returned to a new, calmer normal. The dust has largely settled, but not without a few more ridiculous attempts from Chloe's camp. A week after I blocked Chloe, I got a formal-looking letter. It wasn't from a lawyer, but it was written on fancy letterhead, signed by Chloe and her mother, Diana. It was a rambling demand for mediation to discuss the unilateral and malicious cancellation of the wedding and, get this, financial compensation for non-refundable deposits they paid, caterer, Chloe's dress, florist they booked without my final say-so. Emotional distress and public humiliation caused by my family reunion. A share of the value of gifts they had already received from their side of the guest list, which they presumably had to return or explain. They were essentially trying to bill me for their embarrassment and her decision to end things by making an ultimatum I wouldn't accept. The letter also hinted that if I didn't agree to mediation and compensation match, they would explore all avenues to protect Chloe's reputation. Vague, but a clear attempt at a threat. I didn't even bother replying to that. It was so ludicrous. My sister Sarah, who's a paralegal, glanced at it and just laughed. Amateur hour, she called it. Then came the smear campaign. Phase 2. Chloe, with Zoe and Diana as her primary amplifiers, started spreading stories among mutual acquaintances and anyone who would listen. The narrative was that I had developed cold feet, became controlling, and then in a fit of spite, canceled the wedding and threw a party to deliberately shame Chloe. They conveniently omitted the part about her demanding my entire family be uninvited. A few people I knew peripherally seemed to buy it. I got a couple of, "Dude, that was harsh" texts from folks I hadn't spoken to in ages. I just replied with a screenshot of Chloe's original end-of-discussion text and a link to a public photo album of the family reunion titled "Celebrating What Truly Matters." Most clammed up after that. Some even apologized. The dirty trick that really took the cake, though, was about 2 weeks ago. I volunteer teach a kids coding class on weekends at a local community center. Suddenly, the center director, a lovely woman named Mrs. Peterson, called me in for a chat. Apparently, an anonymous concerned parent had emailed her expressing worries about my recent erratic emotional state and aggressive online behavior, suggesting I might not be suitable around children currently. The email mentioned a very public and messy breakup and my flaunting of problematic behavior online. My blood ran cold. This was a direct attack on something I care about and my reputation. Thankfully, Mrs. Peterson knows me well. I calmly explained the situation, showed her Chloe's original text, explained the family reunion and how my ex-fiancé was now trying to retaliate. I even offered to step back temporarily if she felt it necessary. Mrs. Peterson was amazing. She said, "Liam, I've known you for 3 years. This email sounds like sour grapes, not a genuine concern. Don't worry about it. We value you here." She even said she'd filter any further anonymous complaints. It was a massive relief, but it also showed me the lengths Chloe and her enablers would go to. The fallout for Chloe, from what I've pieced together, I don't seek it out, but news travels in small circles. Socially, her perfect image took a massive hit. When the truth of her demand got out to more people, even some of her own friends were reportedly horrified. Trying to spin me as the villain backfired when my simple factual defense, her own words, made her look unreasonable and cruel. Financially, she and her parents were out their deposits. The caterer, florist, etc. weren't going to refund them based on her changing her mind or making impossible demands on her fiancé. That was their loss. Apparently, Diana was furious about all the money wasted on that ungrateful boy. The venue, the Redwood Grove, actually got a few inquiries for family reunions after our pictures went up. They were apparently quite pleased with the unexpected marketing. Chloe reportedly called them to complain about them allowing me to host the reunion, and they politely told her their contract was with me and I'd fulfilled all obligations for the new event. Zoe. Last I heard, even Zoe was starting to distance herself a bit. Supporting a friend is one thing, but backing someone who makes such an outrageous demand and then throws a tantrum when it backfires gets tiring, I guess. As for me, I'm good. Really good. That whole ordeal was like a massive, painful cleanse. It showed me Chloe's true colors before I made the mistake of marrying her. My relationship with my family is stronger than ever. They saw me choose them, unequivocally. My sister Sarah said, "You know, for a while there I was worried Chloe was changing you. Glad to see you're still you." That meant a lot. I'm out the initial venue deposit, but that's a small price for freedom and integrity. The peace of knowing I stood my ground, didn't cave to emotional blackmail, and protected my family is invaluable. Chloe wanted a wedding where my family wasn't welcome. She got no wedding, and my family had a fantastic party in the very spot she tried to deny them. She wanted end of discussion, and now she has an eternity of silence from me. Sometimes, the best revenge is just living well and letting people face the direct, unvarnished consequences of their own entitled actions.